The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business. Right here in Central New York. The Local Show is locally produced by Zoey Advertising. Now your hosts, Tom and Steve.
Welcome back and welcome in. This is hour number 2 of The Local Show. Get ready for engaging interviews with Dean Lyon, founder of Animate Boot Camp, and Neil Carr stops by, Vice President of Prime Heating and Air, along with Christina Kohler. She's part of Onondaga Grown and an egg processing manager at Hudson Egg Farms. I'm looking forward to that. Hopefully she has some pasture-raised eggs for me.
You know a lot about eggs, don't you?
I'm taking them. I do love the eggs. And then finally, Jeremy Kidd, financial advisor, registered principal at Pinnacle Investments, LLC, all in this hour of The Local Show. And now it's our pleasure to bring on a local celebrity, national something or other, Dean Lyon, founder of Animate Boot Camp. How are you, Dean?
I'm doing great.
It's good to have you on. You're kind of a bigwig. You know, I look at your bio and I think to myself, boy, I just messed up terribly with my life.
And you're stuck here with me?
Stuck here with Steve.
I was waiting for that.
But Dean, are you from Syracuse originally or no?
No, not at all. I've managed to be here for 2 winters.
Oh, nice.
Where did your journey start?
Yeah, where did it start?
I'm originally from Detroit, Michigan.
Okay.
Couldn't stand the winter, so I ran away to California.
Okay, well, that makes sense. Yeah. And did you have a background in animation or film or something like that, cinema?
Yeah, sort of indirectly. I guess I've been a filmmaker since I was like 8 years old, doing stop motion animation.
So were you working in like Super 8 and cutting and splicing? Taking a clip, using like a bulb, like a little release, having a picture, moving the clay. Was that you?
Yep, that is correct. And I even did it with live action people as well as G.I. Joes and Barbies.
Yeah.
I love that stuff.
So you decided you had to go to California because that's where everything was happening in that industry, right?
No, not really.
Oh, okay.
I think I ran away to California just not to be in the winter anymore.
Oh, right.
But I happened to go to film school thinking that my parents would understand.
Oh, yeah.
How'd that work out?
I think in the end they were quite proud of me. My father was a madman.
Madman?
Yeah, he was in car advertising in Detroit.
Oh, okay. That kind of a madman.
Motor
Yeah,
City, okay. All right. So they were like, get a real job, work for a company, get a pension, get a union, and retire. Was that what was kind of put on you?
I think back then they thought you'd work for somebody for 30 years and get a gold watch.
Sure.
But that's not really the film business.
No.
I'd come home for Thanksgiving, and my father would be carving the turkey, and he'd say, well, son, how many car commercials have you worked on this year? And some years I'd have to say hundreds.
Yeah, right.
And, oh, you didn't want to be in the car advertising business, did you?
There you go.
So that was their
So
way
he
of
was
saying
sort of
that.
right in the long haul.
Yeah.
So you went out to California and you went to school for...
Yeah, I went to film school,
Yeah,
and
film
I
school,
wanted to
okay.
be a screenwriter.
Uh-huh.
And just like when you want to be a painter, you have to kind of understand how it all fits together and works.
Right.
And I decided I had to know how to make films.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, the first time I saw computerized editing, I became kind of a computer
So
person.
what year would that have been?
Oh, in the early 80s.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
Yep.
Yeah. So we're probably around the same age, and you found that to be, I was enamored by that technology myself, and I was going to SU. Now I tended to go on the audio side of things, but
Right.
yeah. So you learned the ropes, but then things changed rapidly because in your business,
Yeah.
I mean, here we are with Runway ML and AI generated,
Well, I think the thing that being a visual effects person,
Yes.
I think the thing is you learn something new every day.
Yeah.
You never stop learning. I'm in film school. There's a bunch of really talented men and women. They all wanted to be directors. And I'm like, I don't know if there's that many jobs for directors.
Right.
So I opted instead to be in a cool, dark room with beautiful monitors and do the post-production thing. Didn't have to haul sandbags to the desert. It was kind of cool. Mm-hmm. And then I realized that I'm actually the person that has the last creative decision on every project. The director approves the cut, walks out of the room. I take 4 frames off the edit, and it's done.
Right.
And fortunately, that's where visual effects grew and computer graphics.
So what is Live Animation Studios?
So Live Animation Studios is a studio here in Syracuse that my friend my friends and I started actually in Miami, which is where I was before I came here. And out of Live Animation Studios, we've grown the Animate Boot Camp.
Tell us about that.
So my first idea for Syracuse is I wanted to bring the film industry here. So I'd been, investigating it because my friends had moved here from Miami. They wanted me to move here. We had a little thing called a pandemic. Kind of kept me from making the decision. And when I got here, I realized that you can't just come stomping in and say, I'm going to create the film industry. You want to do it in kind of stepping stones. And so one idea is we had a very successful animation boot camp over the pandemic, all virtual, in Africa. So we decided just to take that model and apply it here in Syracuse. So part of growing the film industry, animation is the first step.
Gotcha.
So the boot camp, is that something people can get involved in?
Is it just for kids or is it for adults? Or,
The first summer I was here, we did high school and college level. This summer we're aiming for high school kids, and we've opened it up to grads and anybody that's maybe university or starting out in the industry.
How many days a week? How long is it? Where is it?
Yeah, so we still haven't locked in the location because, like I said, we're used to doing it virtual, but this will be probably in person.
Yeah.
And we're going to try to keep it in downtown Syracuse, 3 days a week for 2 hours. The schools all told us don't do anything before 4, so we're aiming kind of at 4 to 6.
Did they sound like that when they said it?
4 to 6, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Gotcha.
And then we expect the students to be interested enough and passionate enough that they'll put in a couple extra hours after that.
Yeah.
So it's kind of the description of extracurricular as opposed to curricular.
And how much will something like this cost?
Well, we learned first summer that we really can't charge for the students. So instead, what we're aiming for is corporate and organization sponsorships.
Okay.
And then by part of their sponsorship is we then have the Animate Boot Camp work on a public service announcement or two. And those public service announcements, the corporate sponsor can then brag about.
Sure.
They help the young people. They get to show it on TV. And then also we can repurpose that for their website, their social media, on and on.
So somebody can sign up and there's nothing out of their pocket.
Right.
Okay,
for
great.
The kids, yeah.
That's excellent. My son is going to do it. My son wants to go to film school. He wants to go to New York University or Full Sail.
And he's got some talent.
He's got some chops. Yeah. He's a junior. He's going to be a senior next year, but this would be perfect for him.
Yeah, my concern in Florida was that we were graduating all these students. There's some really famous schools in Florida.
Yeah.
And I had to send them to New York or LA to get a job. So I'd like to see them graduate here and want to stay in Syracuse.
Absolutely. Wouldn't that be nice, huh?
Yep.
And what do you do for voiceover people, since that's my thing? Why haven't you called me? And
yeah, so we do voiceovers, obviously, and we're part of the studio complex that just opened up on the edge of Armory Square, where the original Red House was. We have Subcat Studios,
of course,
Five Peaks Animation, and Studio Central Post.
Yeah,
and it's interesting because we convinced CNY Arts that we really are a filmmaking organization. Oh my God, you use actors.
Yes.
Because we do voiceover acting.
Sure.
yes.
We do mostly we've done sort of a scratch track just to get started and do animation. And then we're discovering now that we're out there selling these programs that it pays to have some known celebrities. For voices.
I guess I'm not celebrity enough for you.
No, you're stuck here on the local show with Tom and Steve.
For the Syracuse animation industry, you're perfect.
So Dean, what am I saying here, Tom?
I don't know, but
Animation,
hurry up.
Live Animation Studios. Is that the correct.com? I was trying to find the website. There it is. Live Animation Studios. They can find information there. Find out about the boot camp and anything else they want to know. Is that fair?
That's right.
Great.
It's a good place to get started.
Thank you so much, Dean, for doing what you're doing here in Syracuse and for being around. Okay, man?
All right. Thank you.
All right. Neil Carr is coming up next, Vice President of Prime Heating and Air, and we'll talk to him on the local show on 570 WSYR.